Hi, I'm Tara Cross and welcome back to Creating Joy. I hope you'll join us each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as we celebrate the 12 days of Christmas in July. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a pack of Christmas coasters. These are some beautiful snowflake coasters that we're going to learn how to make today. So come along with me and let's learn how we can make this cute little gift that we can have all ready for Christmas to give away to someone. So today's pattern is coming out of the book Modern Holiday, Deck the Halls with 18 Sewing Projects, Quilts, Stockings, Decorations, and More by Amanda Murphy. And you can find this on Amazon or in some other quilting shops. So the pattern that I will be using is called Snowflake Coasters. So it's on page 135. So today they have in the book, they have a little pattern that you can photocopy. So here's a little template that you can copy. If you do not have this book and you would still like to follow along, go ahead and make 4 little snowflakes on your own. I'm sure as a child you folded the papers into 4s and cut out snowflakes. It's that simple. Just go ahead and cut out 4 snowflakes and you're ready to go. Once you have printed out the snowflakes, go ahead and cut each of them out to prepare to use them as templates. Okay, the items that we're going to need snowflake fabric, which is my white fabric, then the paper-backed fusible web, background fabric, which is going to be my blue snowflake fabric. Then the border fabric is going to be my plaid fabric. Then backing fabric is going to be my plain blue. And then batting. So the first thing it says, the directions say to do is to take your little template, your snowflake that you've made, and go ahead and pin it on to your fusible backing on the paper side. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to trace it now. Okay, so once you're done tracing it, then we're going to go ahead and cut each of them out. So go ahead and trace each of your snowflakes. Each of mine look different. I'm sure if you're making your own, yours will all look different too. Or you can just use one and just copy it 4 times on your paper. So we can just take these off and we're supposed to cut them out. There we go. All 4 are cut out. Now to our next step. Okay, now we're going to take the paper off of the snowflake, off of the snowflake template, and we're going to take it and we're going to stick it on the snowflake fabric. Mine is this white fabric. It says fuse onto the wrong side of the snowflake fabric and then go ahead and cut out the snowflakes. So now you're going to need some fabric scissors to be able to cut the fabric out, to cut these the fabric snowflakes out. Once you have your snowflake all cut out on your iron-on applique, so we have the paper side up, we're going to take our iron and we're going to just press it for 30 seconds. Okay, once that's pressed, it's going to stick to it. And now we're going to go ahead and cut around the snowflake. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our background fabric, or the fabric that's going to go behind the snowflakes, and we're going to cut 4 squares that are 5" by 5". So 5 by 5. Okay? Okay, so next we're going to do is we're going to take our border fabric and we're going to cut 1-inch strips. So we're going to need to cut them into, we're going to need for each side, for each square, we're going to need 2 1-inch by 5-inch and 2 1-inch by 6-inch. So if we have 4 pieces, that means we're going to need 8 of each one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing now, is cutting the 1-inch strips. Okay, now I'm going to take the strips and layer them on top of each other to cut them the other direction. I'm going to go ahead and just place them next to each other. I separated them into two piles. Okay, so it says that we need, for each square, we're going to need 2 1-inch by 5-inch. So we've got the 5. So we'll go ahead and do 5-inch. So we're going to need 16. Okay, so we'll do one more cut of 5. I did cut 8 strips. So we just need to cut that twice, and then we'll do the same for the 6-inch. Now that we have our squares cut, we are going to go ahead and take our snowflakes. We're going to take our fusible paper off of our snowflakes. If you get it right on the corner, they should just come right off. You're going to have to be really careful taking it off, starting at the tip of each one. Okay, now this bottom side is sticky. You're going to go ahead and center it right where you want it. And then just kind of finger press it down. So check it first to see if that's where you want it. If you want it, now's the time to move it if you don't like the way it looks. Okay, well, I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and press it now. Okay, and then I'm going to let it just set it aside and do the next one. So we're just going to repeat and do the same thing on each of them. Now that we have our snowflake ironed on to our back fabric, we're going to take our shorter side, the 5-inch strips, and we're going to go ahead and pin them on to the side. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin them all on each of the sides, and then I'm going to go to my sewing machine and sew them on. Okay, so if you're a beginning quilter, you're going to want to pin them on like I just did. If you are a seasoned quilter, then you can go ahead and just take your strips and you can go ahead and just take them and hold them on and sew them on. And we're going to go ahead and do chain sewing. We're going to sew them one after another down one side, and then we will trim all of them and then go down and sew on the other side. Okay? Now we're just going to go ahead and finger press each of these open using your fingernail. If you feel like you just don't have the fingernails to do it, then go ahead and take it to your iron and iron it open really quick. Okay, now we're going to take our 6-inch strips and we're going to, if you're a beginner, go ahead and pin them on to the top, to both sides. And if you are a seasoned quilter, go ahead and just start sewing them on. Okay, now that we have all of our squares sewn, what we're going to do is we're going to go press them, and then we're going to trim them to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned. Now we're going to go ahead and cut our backing fabric 6 inches by 6 inches. Now we're going to do the same thing with batting. We're going to cut 4 6-inch by 6-inch pieces of batting. Once you have your snowflake ironed on to your front piece, you're going to go ahead and put together your little sandwich of a coaster. You're going to put down your batting first, and then you're going to put your snowflake topper right on top, face up. Then your backing, you're going to put face down. So if you had a fabric that had a design on one side, you would take it and you would make it so it was face down. Okay. Then we're going to take 2 pins. I'm going to leave about an inch on each side. So this right here is your opening. Okay, so you're going to sew and back stitch, go around, and then back stitch right here. So you're going to sew and back stitch, and then before you turn it, you're going to trim off the corners, and then you're going to turn it right side out. Okay, so we're going to go to the sewing machine and do that. Now I'm going to take it to the iron. I'm going to press down the back a little bit, and I'm going to press down the front so that I can then, I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to sew right along the very, very edge, and then go all the way around the very edge, and then I'm going to stitch in the ditch right along here, so then it looks like I have a binding. Once I do that, I'm going to just keep sewing. I'm going to go around my snowflake to give it a quilted look. So I'm going to sew all the way around my snowflake. And that's how I'm going to do the quilting on my coaster. So here we have our finished snowflake coaster. Here's the front and here's the back, and you can see how the quilting just stands out so nicely. So you could actually have it face up this way or face up this way. Either way works. If it gets dirty on one side, flip it over, and now you've got 2 coasters. So this is going to be a fun gift that you can give away, or you can use it in your own home for decorating your home. I hope this helps you to get ready for Christmas this next year. I know usually it's the first week of December and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have all these projects that I wanted to make for December, but I don't have enough time. But where we're starting it here in July, we have time that we can make these gifts so that we can give homemade gifts to our friends and family. So this is a little idea that I had where you can take some blue ribbon and you can wrap it around it and you can put it in a gift bag and you can give it away to your friends. So Thank you so much for joining me today on Creating Joy, and we will see you next time on the 12 Days of Christmas.